Hello everyone, welcome to Career Launcher, and today we are going to talk about 25 must-do DILR sets. This is part 12 of this series. So if you haven't watched those previous videos, I would suggest that you and watch those videos. And let's continue with today's sets. So let's start. Okay, so now this is CAT 2023 slot 1. Okay. Now let's see this. So basically there is a diagram that is given, and in that diagram there are 12 houses. The houses are numbered divided into columns and rows: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and all those things are given to us. Okay, but what does it mean? I don't know. I'll see to it. Now, second paragraph. It says that some of these houses are occupied and remaining ones are vacant. Okay, and the houses that are vacant, only they are available for sales. Okay, so any occupied house is not available for sale, only the vacant houses are available for sales. Now in this session I would request all of you that participate in solving the sets, and if you are confused at any point, ask the doubts, and that would give you better clarity, more clarity. So if we are going to solve these kind of sets together, then you are going to understand better. Okay. Now it says that the road adjacency value of the house is a number of sites adjacent to a road. Okay. Okay. So basically, if I'm going to look at house number A1, so A1 is not adjacent to any road. So road adjacency is 0. Okay. B1 is not adjacent to any road, so road adjacency is 0. C1 is adjacent to one road, so road adjacency is 1. Now for C2 it should be 2. This is what it says. Okay, B1, B2 it is 1, A2 it is 1, and so on. So D1 it is 1, D2 it is 2, E2 is 0. This is this is 1, this is 0, this is 1, and this is 0. Okay. Now it says that okay, the neighbor count of a house is neighbor of sites of that house adjacent to occupied house in the same block. Okay. For example, E1 and C1 can have maximum possible neighbor count of 3 and 2. Okay. So for example, E1 can have neighbor count is 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So what does this means? Neighbor count. Neighbor, it says, it is not saying the neighbor count of E1 is 3. It is saying neighbor count of the occupied houses. So maximum, if this house is occupied, this house is occupied, this house is occupied, all 3 houses are occupied, then neighbor count would be 3. If only this house and this house is occupied, then neighbor count will be 2. If no house is occupied, then neighbor count will be 3. Neighbor count will be 0. So basically, neighbor means you are adjacent to a house and someone living in it. That's called a neighbor count. If that house is vacant, that won't be considered as the vacant. That won't be considered as in the neighbor count. Okay. Now it says that the base price of the vacant house is 10 lakhs. Okay, and if it does not have a parking space, fair point. And it is 12 lakhs if it does have a parking space. Okay, so basically base prices of a vacant house are either 10 or 12. Okay. Now the price of the vacant house is calculated as, okay, that is base price. So base price can be either 10 or 12. Okay, 5 into road adjacency value. Okay, so road adjacency can be 0, road adjacency can be 1, road adjacency can be 2. So it is going to be 5 into 0, 5 into 1, and 5 into 2. That is, all these are possible values. So it can be, if there is no road adjacent to it, so it is going to be 0. If there is one road adjacent to it, it is going to be 5. If there are 2 roads adjacent to it, so it is going to be 10. Okay, plus 3 into neighbor count. So 3 into neighbor count. So neighbor count can be 0. All adjacent houses are vacant. That is a possibility. You have only one neighbor. You can have 2 neighbors, and you can have 3 neighbors, right? So basically, this is the price of a house, and this is how we calculate it, and that's what question is saying. and some additional information is given to us. So let's solve and let's figure out what does it says. How many houses are vacant in block XX? Okay. Which of the following houses is definitely occupied? Okay, fine. Now, which of the following best describes the number of vacant houses in row 2? Okay. What is the maximum possible vacant house? Uh, uh, Maximum possible quoted price for vacant house in column E. It means I cannot calculate the actual value. There are going to be some possibilities. Otherwise, the question would not ask the maximum value. This is what it is saying. Now, which of the following houses has parking space in block YY? Okay, now let's start. Let's see. Now, I have already figured out that my prices are going to be either 10 and 12 plus road adjacency value is, so it is going to be either 0 or 5 or 10, 5 into 0, 5 into 1. Then it is going to be according to neighbor count 0, 3, 6 and 9. Now I'm going to start solving. Okay. The maximum quoted price of a house in block XX is 24 lakhs. Okay, I need to make 24 lakhs. So 10 plus 0 plus 0, 10. 10 plus 5, 15. 15 plus 9, 24. That is one possible arrangement. Now 10 plus 10, I can't add any number so that it becomes 24. Okay. 12 plus 0 plus 9, 21. 12 plus 5 plus any of the numbers is not giving us 24. 12 plus 10, 22. 22 plus any of the numbers is not giving 24. So 24 can be made only by using one arrangement, that is 10 plus 5 into 1 plus 3 into 3. It means neighbor count is 3, adjacent value, road adjacent value is 1, and base price is 1. It means in column in block XX, there are only two houses that can have three neighbors, that is B1, it can have A1, C1 and B2, and B2. B2 is A2, B1 and C2. And it also have an road adjacency. It means B2 must be that house that has a price of 24 lakhs. It means this should be a vacant house. And it has a neighbor count of 3. It means this house must be occupied, this house must be occupied, this house must be occupied, and this is what it is saying. And this is how we can calculate 3 houses. The minimum quoted price in YY is 15 lakhs. Now, how can I make 15? That is 10 plus 5. It means there is no neighbor. Okay, but road adjacency is 1. It means it can be either D1 or F1 or E2. That's a possible arrangement, or F2. Okay. Now, it can also be 12 plus 3. So 12 plus 3 means it has a parking, plus it is not adjacent to road. It means it can be even E1 or F1, and 3 means it must have one neighbor count. So basically either of the arrangements are possible. I don't know which one. Okay. Row 1 has 2 occupied houses, one in each block. Okay, so row 1, this is my row 1, and row 1 has two occupied houses, one in each block. I got one house in block XX. It means this house must be vacant as well as this house must be vacant. And out of the 3, only one house must be occupied and remaining 2 must be vacant. Which 2? I don't know. Now, both houses in column E are vacant. Okay, so this is vacant as well as this is vacant. Column D and column F has at least one occupied house. Okay. So if this is occupied, this should be vacant, or both can be occupied, right? So either this is occupied. I know in row 1, out of the 2, one house is occupied, one house is vacant, right? Now both can't be occupied. So basically, if this is occupied, then this can be occupied or vacant. Okay, I don't know. If this is occupied, this can be occupied or vacant, because it is saying in column D, column F, at least one of the houses is occupied. Okay. Now, if I say if I say one point, that is if this house, and as well as it says that in row 1, there is one house is occupied, one is vacant. It means if this is occupied, this must be vacant. If this is vacant, then this must be occupied, right? So if I am going with 10 plus 5, means road adjacency is 1, and I am talking about E2. So if this is, the price is 10, road adjacency is 1, this house is occupied, right? Then 3 must be added, right? So price of this house cannot be 15. Fine. So this is what we are clear about. That house, price of this house cannot be 15 lakhs, right? So basically, the only possible arrangement that we have is going to be 12 plus 3. So this is 12 and it has exactly one neighbor. Now, if this is occupied, this should be vacant. If this is vacant, this is occupied, this should be vacant. I don't know what, right? So basically, the base price is 3, as well as it must have exactly one neighbor. So basically, out of this is definitely vacant. So out of these two, one will be occupied, one will be vacant. Now, I am going to do the questions and going to figure out. The last question, which house in block YY has a parking space? That is even we have already figured out, because any house that has a base price of 12, that must be that must have a parking space. So this is clear. How many houses are vacant in block XX? So in XX, A1, C1 and B2, I got 3 houses. So answer of this question is going to be 3 houses. Now, which of the houses are definitely occupied? So B1, A1, D2, F2. So B1 is occupied, A2 is occupied, C2 is occupied. So B1 is occupied, that is option 1. So out of those, I'm getting my answer. Answer is this. Okay. Now, which of the following options best describes the number of vacant houses in row 2? Okay. So I'm just making one case and we are going to figure out that if this house is occupied, this house must be vacant, because I know exactly one is occupied, exactly one is vacant. Now, if this is occupied, this can be either vacant or occupied, right? And this house must be occupied. That's definitely true, because in row F and in column F and column D, at least one house has to be occupied. So in row 2, how many can be occupied? How many can be vacant? So 1 vacant is there, 2 vacant can be there. So either 2 can be vacant or 3 can be vacant. So answer of this question is going to be either 2 or 3. Okay. So answer of this question is going to be option 2. Now, what is the maximum possible quoted price for a vacant house in column E? So maximum possible quoted price for a vacant house in column E. So in column E, I want to maximize the price, right? So let's give this base price as 10. Road adjacency is 5. Now, if this house is vacant, now let's take this house as occupied as well as this house as occupied. So 2 occupied houses. So neighbor count has become 2. So 3 into 2 is going to be 6. So that is going to be 21. If question asks what is the minimum, so I would have considered this house as vacant house. So in that case, my answer would have been 18. So answer of this question is going to be 21. I hope everyone understood this set. Yes, no? Everyone understood? Now let's match the answers. Question number 1, answer is 3. Question number 2, B1. First option, second option, 21. So first option, second option, 21. Last one, even. Last one, even. So all the answers that we have solved are right. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. So basically, if you want to solve problems anywhere, if you want to read anywhere, so I would say just download the CL's app. You can review your mocks as well while you are on the move. Okay. So now I'm going to move to set 24. That is CAT 2023 slot 1. Okay. Now let's read it. So it says that faculty members in a management school can belong to one of the four departments: finance and accounting, marketing and strategy, operations and quants, behavior and human resources. The number of faculty members are this, and some other story is given. So basically, there are going to be what? P, Professor Q, Professor R, Professor S are four members of the school faculties who were candidates for the post of dean of the school. Only one of the candidates from O and Q. So basically, there are four departments, and every department there are certain number of faculties, and then some other conditions are given. Okay, now let's read. Which of the following candidates can belong to same department? So basically, I'm going to use the options. Which of the following can be number of votes Professor Q received from a single department? Okay. If Professor S belong to BNL, now this is if condition. So basically, it means I cannot get a definite arrangement. So I am going to do something else. I am just going to make arrangement for this. Now, what are the departments we got? F&A, MNS, ONQ, BNH. F&A, MNS, ONQ, BNH. So basically, there are four. Now, 9753. So I'm just going to write down 9753. That is the number. So F&A department have 9, this 7, this is 5, this is 3. Okay. Every faculty member, including the four candidates, voted for the post of each department. All the faculty members who were not candidates voted for the same candidate. Okay. So basically, it is saying that if I'm talking about FNA and FNA doesn't have any candidate, so it has 9 professors, and so if those 9 professors are voting for a candidate, all of them are voting for the same candidate. That's what it says. Now it says there cannot be more than 2 candidates from a single department. Okay. So I'm going to write down this. O and Q has 1 candidate that is written here. Okay. Now every department can have 1 candidate. One department can have 2, another department can have 1 department can have 0. Okay. Now a candidate cannot vote for himself or herself. Okay, fair point. Then faculty member cannot vote for a candidate from their own department. So if let's say there is a candidate from O and Q, so remaining 4 people, so basically there are 5 people. Out of 5, 1 is going to be candidate, so remaining are 4 people. So those 4 people cannot vote for the candidate from O and Q. He or she must vote for either BNH or MNS or FNA. This is what it says. Okay. So O and Q, I am going to write it as 1 plus 4. Now, what does it mean? It means 1 is the candidate, 4 are the non-candidates, and all these 4 people are going to vote for the same person. Okay. Now it says that P is getting 3 votes. So I'm going to write P. P is getting 3 votes. Q is getting 14 votes. Q is getting 14 votes. So I'm very sure that Q is going to get votes from FNA. That's for sure. So if Q is going to get votes from FNA, it means Q cannot be from FNA. Because non-candidates cannot vote for the same department. Yes, Nidhi. R is receiving 6 votes and S is receiving 1 vote. Okay. Nidhi, you want to ask something? P is voting for R. So P is voting for R. Q is voting for S. Okay. R is voting for Q. And S is voting for P. This is what it says. Now S was supposed to get 1 vote. That is directly going to get from Q. So S is getting 0 additional votes. R was supposed to get 6 votes. Out of 6, 1 is going to get from P. So remaining are 5 votes. Q was supposed to get 14 votes, getting 1 vote from R. So basically, remaining votes are 13. And P is supposed to get 2 votes extra. 1 is from S, so remaining 2 votes from someone. Now, B and H can have 0 candidates. So 0 candidate plus 3 non-candidates. So all three are going to go vote for the same person. 1 plus 2, 1 candidate and 2 non-candidates. Okay. 2 plus 1, 2 candidates, 1 non-candidate. Okay. MNS, it can be 0 plus 7, 0 candidates, 7 non-candidates. 1 plus 6, 1 candidate, 6 non-candidates. 2 plus 5, 2 candidates and 5 non-candidates. Okay. This is going to be 0 plus 9. Okay. Now it is going to be 1 plus 8 and 2 plus 7. Maximum 2 candidates can be from same department. Okay. Now, if P is getting 2 additional votes, from which department it can get 2 additional votes? The only possible number is this. It means those 2 votes are definitely coming from B and H, and it also says that B and H must have exactly 1 candidate. This is the direct inference I can draw. Okay. Now, R plus P is going to get 5 votes. How can he get 5 votes? R is getting 5 votes. How can R get 5 votes? 5 votes can be 5 plus 2, 5 non-candidates of MNS. That tells me that MNS must have 2 candidates. 4 is not helping. 7, 8, 9 is not helping. It means R is getting 5 votes and all 5 votes must be from MNS, and MNS must have 2 candidates. That is that scenario. Now, Q is getting 13 votes. It means I got 4 candidates. It means FNA must have 0 candidates. It means all 9 votes from FNA Q is getting, plus 4 votes from O and Q is getting. Now the thing is, 1 candidate is from BNH, 1 candidate from O and Q, 2 candidates from MNS. Now, Q is getting votes from FNA. Q is also getting votes from O and A. It means Q cannot belong to BNH. Q cannot belong to O and Q. Q cannot belong to FNA. So Q must be either BNH or O and Q. This is what it says. Now, if S is voting to S, that S and P cannot belong to same department. Q and R cannot belong to same department. R and P cannot belong to same department. S and Q cannot belong to same department. So I need 2 candidates from MNS, 1 candidate from O and Q, 1 candidate from BNH. Okay. So I know that P cannot be from BNH. R equal to 5 लेने का means देखो बेसिकली क्या है कि आर को 6 वोट मिले, आउट ऑफ 6 वोट 1 वोट पी ने दिया, तो बाकी वोट कहां से मिले? 5 वोट मिले, और ये 5 नॉन कैंडिडेट होने चाहिए, क्योंकि जितने कैंडिडेट्स हैं उन सबके वोट तो हमें गिवन है, राइट? सो 5 के 5 बंदे नॉन कैंडिडेट होने चाहिए। ये 5 वोट आ कहां से सकते हैं? केवल एमएनएस से आ सकते हैं और कहीं से नहीं आएंगे। तो आर जो होगा वो एमएनएस से नहीं हो सकता, ठीक है। क्यू एफएनडी से नहीं हो सकता, ठीक है, और ओएनक्यू से नहीं हो सकता, तो क्यू यहां से भी नहीं होगा, ठीक है ना। अब यहां तक अपन को पता चल गया। अब हमको समझना है कि कौन कौन कहां कहां हो सकता है, ठीक है। अब आर ने पी ने आर को वोट किया, तो पी और आर का डिपार्टमेंट जो होगा वो सेम नहीं होगा, ठीक है। पी और आर का डिपार्टमेंट सेम नहीं है, क्यू एंड आर का डिपार्टमेंट सेम नहीं है, एस और पी का डिपार्टमेंट सेम नहीं है। यहां तक हमको पता चल गया, ठीक है। अब हमको निकालना है कौन से 2 लोग। इफ आई एम गोइंग टू लुक एट क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, इट इज सेइंग व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग 2 कैंडिडेट्स बिलोंग टू सेम डिपार्टमेंट, ठीक है। तो हमें सेम डिपार्टमेंट वाले लोग निकालने हैं। तो सेम डिपार्टमेंट के जो 2 कैंडिडेट होंगे वो एमएनएस के ही होंगे, राइट। और एमएनएस का आर तो नहीं हो सकता, ये हमने फिगर आउट कर लिया। तो इसका मतलब ये है कि अपना आंसर 3rd भी नहीं हो सकता, अपना आंसर 4th भी नहीं हो सकता। अब पी एंड एस और पी एंड क्यू की बात हो रही है, ठीक है। पी एंड एस दोनों का डिपार्टमेंट सेम नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि पी को एस वोट कर रहा है, तो इसका मतलब फर्स्ट ऑप्शन भी चला गया, बचा कौन सा, सेकेंड। इसका मतलब पी और क्यू का जो डिपार्टमेंट होना चाहिए वो सेम होना चाहिए, और पी एंड क्यू किस डिपार्टमेंट को बिलोंग करने चाहिए, एमएनएस को। सो पी और क्यू किस डिपार्टमेंट के हैं, एमएनएस के। इतना तो हमने फिगर आउट कर लिया, ठीक है। तो पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर आ गया क्या, ऑप्शन 2, ठीक है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 देखते हैं, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग डिपार्टमेंट्स कैन बी द नंबर ऑफ वोट्स दैट प्रोफेसर कुरैशी रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम ए सिंगल डिपार्टमेंट। सो प्रोफेसर कुरैशी को 9+4 मिल रहे हैं, 9 मिल रहे हैं एफएनडी से, 4 मिल रहे हैं ओएनक्यू से, सो आंसर इसका हो गया 9, दैट इज ऑप्शन 2, ठीक है। अगला क्वेश्चन, अगर सैमुअल बी एंड एच को बिलोंग कर रहा है, ठीक है, अब अगर सैमुअल बी एंड एच को बिलोंग कर रहा है, सो पी तो एमएनएस का ही है, ये स्टेटमेंट तो ट्रू है, ठीक है। अगर एस बी एन एच का है, ठीक है, सो जो आर होगा वो ओ एन क्यू का हो जाएगा, तो इसका मतलब सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट भी ट्रू होना चाहिए। सो स्टेटमेंट 1, स्टेटमेंट 2 बोथ आर ट्रू, ठीक है। विच ऑफ द which what best can be concluded about the candidate from ONQ, P और Q तो MNS के हैं, ONQ का बंदा या तो R होगा या S होगा, that is option 2, got the answer, right? अगला क्वेश्चन, which of the following statements are true, non-candidates from MNS voted for Q, non-candidate from MNS voted for Q, Q को MNS का कोई बंदा वोट ही नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि Q तो MNS से ही है ना, तो इसका मतलब फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट तो फॉल्स है। नॉन कैंडिडेट्स फ्रॉम एफएनए वोटेड फॉर क्यू, एफएनए के लोगों ने तो क्यू को वोट किया है, इसका मतलब सेकंड स्टेटमेंट ट्रू है, तो आंसर इसका हो गया ऑप्शन 4। So basically, when you are solving these kind of questions, look at the questions, then things can be solved very easily. अगर हम ये कोशिश ही करते रहते हैं, फिगर आउट करने की कोशिश करते रहते हैं कि एमएनएस का कौन होगा, तो उसमें हमारे लिए बहुत स्ट्रगल हो जाता है। लेकिन अगर हम क्वेश्चन पढ़ के देखें, 3 ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट करके हम डायरेक्टली आंसर ले सकते हैं। इसका आंसर मिला लेते हैं, पहले का आंसर सेकंड है, पी एन क्यू एमएनएस के हैं, ठीक है, सेकंड 9, थर्ड वन बोथ ट्रू, नेक्स्ट वन दिस, सो वी गॉट ऑल द आंसर्स, राइट। एंड हाउ डिड वी डू, हम लोग जो जो कंक्लूड कर सकते थे हम लोगों ने वो कंक्लूड कर लिया, उसके बाद क्वेश्चन पढ़ के हमने डायरेक्टली इस पूरा अरेंजमेंट ही कंप्लीट कर लिया जो जो हम कर सकते थे, राइट। So with this we conclude this session, and if you want to master DILR faster, join DILR 1000, and with this, thank you. Now if you have any query, I would be happy to take that query. Any doubts? Okay, so with this, force layers more likely CAT का ही कोई सेट होगा। I don't know which set we are going to talk about, which set we are going to discuss. I haven't received the PPT yet, so I haven't seen it. So जो भी होगा देख लेंगे, ठीक है। So some CAT set is going to be discussed, so don't worry about it. Fine. So if you want me to discuss any particular set, you can just drop the message that which slot, which set you want to discuss. ठीक है, so I can discuss that particular set. Don't worry about it. Just drop it in the comment box. So वो particular अपन देख लेंगे, कोई issue नहीं है ऐसा, ठीक है। We can discuss any CAT set, whichever you like.